iPhones have always had relatively small battery capacities compared to Android phones because they're so optimized that they don't have to have that raw
16 to
capability.
3500, sorry.
So I think it will be smaller, but I still think relative to the larger iPhones, it's going to be a smaller battery. And it has to be because of how thin it is. And I think that's going to make the battery life worse. And I think they have to either justify that or fix it.
Yeah.
So it will probably be a 2,700 milliamp hour battery in the iPhone Air. Then what do they do?
Well, if we want to talk about the iPhone Air, one thing they're already getting rid of, according to this case manufacturer leak, they're getting rid of one of the cameras on the iPhone Air.
Yeah.
So there is more room in there
Back
already.
to one camera.
One camera and a pixel visor.
Okay. This is the also thing.
Literally.
The thing that I'm trying to figure out is where will they position it in the lineup, because Samsung just put the Edge right in the middle of their lineup. Apple has used the word Air before to mean the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah.
And I think they might do that considering what what we've seen from these leaks, which is one camera. It feels like it's the bottom of the lineup.
Well, wait, isn't Air for the iPad in between the regular iPad and the Pro?
So with the iPad, it's the base iPad, then the iPad Air, then the iPad Pro.
So it's like it's not the Pro, but it's the shape. It's the shape of a Pro, right? That's what they usually do. Like it's fancier and it's flashier, but it isn't as powerful as the Pro model.
But with the MacBooks, at the bottom is the Air, and then there's the MacBook Pro above that. So the Air is the bottom, and it's the thinnest and lightest, and that's what Air meant. And then you have Pro above it if you need more power. And so the baseline that most people buy is the Air.
Right.
So which one of those do they do? With me, when I see single camera, I think baseline. I think, the SE has, or the 16E is the only one with one camera right now. So if the Air is going to have one camera and then the base has two cameras and the Pro has three cameras, to me, that hierarchy makes sense.
It makes sense, but if you think about it as less of how many cameras it has and how many cameras did it take away, Samsung took away a camera but put it above a phone that has three cameras. Which is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is strange.
It's funny that you went to how many cameras does it have? One feels like the bottom. And I first thought of how many cameras did they take away and where can it go?
I guess Samsung is less clear about like Pro has the most cameras because, well, the Ultra has an extra telephoto. And then the S25s have a single telephoto. And this Edge has no telephotos.
I have a take.
Okay.
So I think that Apple is way more fashion forward and like, do you have the new thing forward, right? Like the people who buy Samsung phones are either people who just need a phone and just go to the carrier store and just buy the Android thing because they know Samsung the brand, or they're like the power users who want to buy the Ultra and they know that the Ultra is consistently one of the best Android phones of the year and they want the most powerful thing. And so the Air for them is like, there's not really that big of a group of Samsung users who are like, I want to show off to people that I've got the thinnest, newest thing. Whereas Apple consistently tries to slightly tweak the look of something just to make sure people know you have the new one.
Totally.
Like with the Ultra 2 watch, it's just black.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That's how you know. And so I think the Air for Apple, they can charge more for, because people are going to be more willing to pay for something that is clearly newer than Samsung users are, who just want something that is better and don't care as much about it being newer.
What I'll fight back on that is according to this this case manufacturer, Autofly, also showed the iPhone 17 Pro, which is a totally different back as well. So it kind of feels like the entire lineup is going to be newer.
For sure.
For showing. Yeah. So then no matter what you buy is the newest thing.
I think that's the take, because if the iPhone 17 Air, the only things that we know about it is it has less battery and less cameras, how do you charge more for it? So I think because all of the new iPhone 17s have this new visor aesthetic, then that's their aesthetic thing to be like, oh, you have the new one. And then it'll be single camera thin one is the base. Dual camera is the mid, and then 3 cameras is the Pro.
Can you believe that they just released the E and now they're going to do this, and then they're going to have the Fold next year? How many iPhones are we going to freaking have?
I keep hearing that, but like Samsung has 17 million phones. Like we never complain, but it's like, oh, the iPhone is usually only 3 phones. Yeah, but so now when they have 5, it's like it's a lot.
I feel like arguably part of the reason that a lot of people who don't want to think about their purchase buy iPhones is because it's like the lineup is, you don't have to use a single brain cell to decide what phone
That's
you
true.
want.
Yeah, you just go in with like, hey, here's how much I want to spend, and then okay, they've got a phone at your price. Although with Samsung, it's like, do you want to spend $99? Do you want to spend $119? Do you want to spend $149? Do you want to spend $229? Because they have a phone at every single price.
Yeah.
Where with Apple, you walk in and you're like, all right, we've got 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 11, 12, and 13.
Yeah.
So pick one.
You're right.
So they're gonna have like a folding one that's even higher, and maybe the Air slots in
I
somewhere
don't know.
too.
I feel like I think that they are going to say it's going to have the same battery life. And because they are going to do that, I think it is going to be more expensive than the regular iPhone, but less than the Pro.
So you're going silicon carbon.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my guess.
All right.
Oh, I just wanted to say I'm constantly confused as the person editing these videos, trying to figure out the hierarchy of what phone is which is a total nightmare.
Yeah.
And if you skip a year, you don't pay attention, suddenly there's something new.
Yeah.
Yeah, Air has more than one meaning in Apple land already, which is why it's not like a guaranteed sure thing where they're going to put this one.
Yeah.
Do you know we're not allowed to make basketball references on the podcast anymore?
Why?
I thought we were only allowed to
Everyone
make
likes
basketball
that except
references.
for me.
Yeah, everyone sure loves when we make basketball
There's a lot
references.
of comments.
But
that
to
say-
reference another sport that no one said we're not allowed to talk about yet, Colin Chapman, the founder of Lotus,
What's Lotus?
a car company
that
competes in F1.
Oh.
No, they don't.
They don't anymore.
Lotus?
Yeah. When did they stop?
I don't know. But
That's
they're
Fake
Gemini.
fan.
Says the guy who said the wrong thing to start.
No. Look, anyway, he has this quote talking about the Lotus F1 cars of the 60s where he says, he talks about his design philosophy and he says, simplify and add lightness. It's never take stuff away to make the car lighter. It's always
adding.
add lightness. And I feel like that is the Apple philosophy with what they put Air on. Like, we're going to add more and it's going to be less.
They're
Yeah.
the Renault Sport Formula One team, which
Renault,
later became Alpine.
Yeah, it said the Lotus stopped in 2015.
They got
And
sold to Renault.
was purchased by Renault, and then Renault is Alpine.
Fake
Alpine
fan.
now.
I'm the real F1 fan here, everybody. Martin
Taking the
Schumacher.
chicane back to
Oh my God.
What is that? What is chicane?
An attempted F1 segue.
Is that a racer?
I got it. I understood it. I thought it was good.
Chicane is actually the most winning F1 driver in history. His name is Chick Ain.
Chicane.
Yeah, and he's
really?
just stellar. Yeah, 68 championships.
He's going to believe this.
You have to stop messing with me. There's no way that I can tell whether or not this is real or not.
He's going to believe this.
68
We're just
championships.
kidding. We've been talking about basketball the whole time.
Yeah, Chicane is a basketball player.
I literally would have believed that if you had not.
Back to the iPhone.
Kevin Durant, baby. Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I agree with David that I think this will be a middle of the lineup. I don't think this is cheapest. And I also think it will have the same battery life, but not be silicon carbide. But that's because the battery life's just all day battery life. Stop asking questions. It's all day. The day might be December 25th, and it only is the day till 5 o'clock, but it's an all day battery.
What if it is worse battery life, but they just still say all day? That is so real.
Agree.
just-
We all know that's what's going to happen, right?
Oh my God. I would just be insulted if I was an Apple customer and they were like, yeah, here's our much thinner phone that has much less battery,
But it's
but it's the same all day battery.
It's all-
Okay,
day
wait.
battery.
If it is worse though, what older iPhone are they gonna like? You know how like with the 16e they're comparing it to like the iPhone 12. Like, are they gonna be like compared to the iPhone 7?
Compared to Ellis's
blows it out
iPhone
of the
12
water.
Mini.
They do
Yeah.
that every time.
Speaking
Compared to
of,
my 2,000 milliamp hour 12 mini.
speaking of old iPhones, I was trying and failing to switch back to Android this weekend because iMessage is just the worst thing ever, and trying to deregister it. Yeah, it's a great service that is horrible in every other way. I was trying to deregister it and get RCS working, and anyway, Apple has a manual like deregister your account from iMessage page on their website where you can put in your phone number, and it theoretically puts it through the servers, even though it didn't do it for
I
me.
don't trust that.
The phone they show on that is an iPhone 5.
Really?
They've intentionally not updated that page since the iPhone 5 because they're like, yeah, we'll give you the resource, but we don't want you to use it.
Yeah, we don't want you to feel like we're prioritizing this.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's why I have 2 phones. Is I just do not want
I
go
need
back
to
and forth.
ask you about that later. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing.
I'm surprised that page doesn't have the like. Are you sure you want to go away from this? It's scary out
Apple
there.
cannot control what happens on Android.
And then it texts like all of your contacts automatically. Like
David's
David's
check
a
on me.
loser.
David's a loser. So Google I/O is supposed to mean like in out, right? You know, it's kind of like the
Input,
I/O,
output,
input
yeah.
output. Yeah.
Facts.
I'm gonna be in and out because I'm only there for one day.
You're gonna go to In-N-Out.
I'm gonna go to In and Out. Oh wait, Google In and Out.
Google In and Out.
That's the collab we want.
I thought it was Googlio the whole time.
Googlio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't believe no one corrected me. I've been saying Googlio around the office for years.
Well, you know what? Next week, I'm gonna say it's the Googlio podcast.
Make sure you watch our Googlio coverage, and then shortly after our Wawadika coverage.
What would it get?
Get subscribed. See you soon.
What would it get?
Don't miss it.